Hi, my name is Sergio Gofre Martel. I'm a PhD candidate at UMD in reliability engineering. And today I'm going to show you how to install Git and create an SSH key so you can link it to your GitLab repository and work locally. I'm going to share my screen. And here we go. So I'm going to do this in a reverse order where I'm going to show you the GitLab website where you actually can link the key to GitLab, and then I'm going to show you how to create the key. So if you're in the main website, so code.umd.edu or whatever your case may be, you can also click on the GitLab logo on the top left, and it will show you the main screen. You can go to the top right, and you will see your icon and a drop-down menu. And we're going to click on preferences. So once on the preferences, we see a different set of options on the left, and we're going to click on SSH keys. So here we see different things. First of all, we can actually see that GitLab already has a tutorial on how to create an SSH key, but the language can get a little bit complicated. So the purpose of this video is to walk you through that tutorial, okay? And we also see that we're going to need an ED 25519 key. So in Git, you can actually create different kinds of keys, and this is the one required by GitLab, okay? So we need to be careful when doing that. And yeah, so at the end of the video, we're going to come back here, and we're going to paste our newly created key on this box, and that should be all that we need. So if we go to the generate one key tutorial, we can see here that it's actually very straightforward. It's just a couple of lines of code. But to do this, we actually first need to install Git. Okay, so if you don't have Git yet, just literally just Google Git, and it should be the first thing to pop up. And then this link is going to be in the video description anyways, but click on downloads and then select your operating system. So in my case, it's Windows. And if you click on that, the downloading process should start itself. And so you just save it whatever you want, and you're good to go. So in my case, I saved it on downloads. So I'm going to go to downloads here. And you can see here I have the installer. So you just run that. And this little screen should pop up. So we're going to leave most things as default, except for the editor, which we're going to change because the one that comes with Git is not intuitive and is very complicated to use. So here we're going to click on next, and here you have the selection of the editor. So this is where we need to be careful. The default should be for you. If you never installed this before, it should be Vim, which actually even Git itself, it tells you that this is not intuitive at all and not user friendly. So you should select another one. I'm gonna recommend Sublime Text because I really like it. It's very simple and easy to use. Also, VS Code is popular today, Visual Studio. That's what VS stands for. And so yeah, so I'm gonna choose Sublime Text. It might be the case that you select one and it will not allow you to click next. That's because you don't have it installed. So you just click on the provided link, and it would direct you to the downloading screen. So for instance, if I want to do Visual Studio, I don't have it in my computer, so it doesn't allow me to click next. But I can click on this link, and it will show me where to download it. So I will have to download it and install it. And once I install it, I have to restart this process, and it will allow me to go through. So that's actually what I just did for Sublime. And now I can click next, and everything else is gonna be as default. Okay, so next, and so on until you finish the installation. I'm not gonna do it now because I already have Git, so there's no point to it. So once you have that, it might be the case that you need to restore your computer. It's always a good idea to do so anyway. So you can go ahead and do that. But now what we're going to do is we need to open a Git terminal. Okay, so to do so, we can go to the Windows Explorer and just type GitBash, and it's going to show up here. Okay, and it opens the terminal. But the cool thing is that we can actually go to whatever we want. Let's say the desktop, and I can actually right click and open a bash here. So what this is going to do is basically it's going to create it's going to open a terminal, but in the path where I opened it. And this is very useful when you're working with a repository, because you can just go to the folder of the repository where you cloned it and open bash there, and then you can just work directly instead of going through the whole path thing and stuff. Okay, so we're all set with Git, and the question is, what do we need to do now? So we can go back to the tutorial, and you need to copy and paste this line here. Okay, so we need to change the comment. So don't just like press enter like a madman. Just copy and paste it, and now we're gonna edit this. Okay, and we need to put a comment that is intuitive, so we can actually find this key later, or we can actually know what we're using the key for. Okay, so in this case, I'm gonna just put a comment of GitLab tutorial, or actually let's do SSH Key tutorial. Okay, so again, this is not gonna matter much. It's just for you to have a reference later in time, like let's say a month or a year ahead in time. Okay, so we're gonna click enter, and now this is important. We need to choose the path where we need to where we want to save the key. Okay, so if you just click enter, it's gonna go to the default, which is this in parentheses here, where the last part of this is gonna be the name of the key. Okay, so what we can actually do is just I'm gonna go here and I pasted it. I'm gonna change this name, and I'm gonna name it tutorial. Okay, tutorial. Okay, so what I can do now is just copy this. Give me 1 second. So we can copy this and paste it here and click enter. I was gonna ask you for a passphrase. Okay, so just to show you before we continue, I'm gonna go to the default setting. So basically, it's usually the C drive, users, your name, and then here's this .ssh. Okay, so as you can see here, I already have a key with the default name. So if you see that, that was the name suggested by default. So that's the one that I'm currently using in my development in my GitLab. So the one that we're gonna create now, if you see the path here, is the same: users, my name, and SSH, which is the same as the one I just gave it here, but with a new name, right? So what we should see here now is 2 folders named tutorial. Okay. Okay, so back to the terminal. We're asked if you want to put a passphrase, basically a password. In this case, I mean, if you think you need it, you can just go ahead and set up a password. But in my case, I don't need it, so I'm just going to click enter, press enter, and then press it again. And here we go. We have created the key. And as you see here, we created a key named tutorial. All right. So those folders contain the public and the private key. It is important to know that the public key should be the one that you give to Git, and the private key it belongs to your computer, and you should never share it with anyone, because it gives access to your computer. Okay, so that's actually very important. So I'm actually gonna close this terminal, go to the path or the directory where I saved I created the SSH key, and I'm gonna open a new terminal here in this directory. Okay, so now if we want to know the public key, which is the one that we need to paste here, we just go back and open the GitBash here and type cat and then the name of the key. So in this case, it's tutorial.pub. Okay, it is important that you add the extension of .pub. Okay, So you press enter, and that is going to show you your key. That's your public SSH key that you just created. Okay, so you can just take this, you can copy it and go back to the GitLab and paste it here. Okay, so this is where we started the tutorial, right? And as you can see here, it's just a title, which is the comment that you gave when you created the key. So you can actually name it whatever you want. In this case, I'm gonna just keep it like that. And you need to set up an expiration date. In the case that the project is gonna last for a long time, you can set up for like far in the future. So let's set up for 2026 or 2000. Yeah, very late. So I can just forget about it and it's never gonna expire. Okay. Or you can set up a certain date that is obviously up to you. And we're done. We just click add key, and that's all we need. Now this GitLab, which is linked to my user, is now linked to my computer. So you can actually go now. Let's say I want to go back to my repository. You could go here, and to download, you can clone it. You can clone it here using the SSH key. So you copy this and you go to the terminal, and you go to whatever you want to clone the repository. So let's say my case is going to be, I have it on my desktop in this folder here. So you can just open the bash here and paste that line of code here, and that's it. And that's all you need. Obviously, I already have it, so I'm not going to do it, but you should get the idea. So yeah, that's everything you need to know. And I hope this video was helpful. And I know my accent is not the best, but I'm gonna leave a description on the video description. I mean like a step-by-step of what we just did, and you should be good to go. Okay. Thank you for your attention, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.